That was just awe-inspiring to watch. Okay, Mavic Air review. First up, say hello to Nigel from Unique Images Australia. He really is a GoPro and DJI drone guru and runs classes out of his Byron Bay shop.
Let's do this.
Time for an unboxing. That bag really is a beautiful piece of fashion. As indeed is that controller. It's interesting how it's just a slightly more advanced piece of industrial design than the Pro. More rounded, less Blade Runner, more kind of Minority Report. Those propellers are smaller and non-foldable in comparison to the Pro. There's the multiple battery charge that you get in the Fly More combo. You can charge the 3 batteries that you get in that particular pack, although only in line. You can't charge them all at the same time. You get a nice little zip-up pouch for the drone itself, although it's pretty useless because generally you're taking the controller and various bits and batteries and so on, so the larger case is more useful. Now this is important. A total of 7 cameras aid in navigation and the important collision avoidance. 6 cameras are arranged in pairs on the front, back and bottom, and the main camera that also shoots those 12 megapixel stills and 4K video also aids in this process. In addition to more conventional cameras, the Mavic Air has a pair of infrared sensors. They're mounted on the bottom and help to create a sophisticated 3D map of the terrain. The prop guards are also a rugged design. I just thought I'd chuck them on so that you can see what they look like. They're a great idea if this is your first drone. Now you might already know this, but allow at least an hour for setup and software updates. Here's a size comparison with the Spark. And here's the Air next to my Mavic Pro. You'll see, with its prop arms folded in, it really is very small indeed. And here's a nice comparison. This is the Air next to the battery from the GoPro Karma drone. That's amazing, isn't it? Look how small it is. So first up, we went to a local sports field just to fly around, get a kind of sense of general handling and so on, before we tried out some of the modes in a nice, safe area. That's me chasing a bird, trying to keep it in shot unsuccessfully. I would say that having flown the Mavic Pro for quite a while, I instantly took to the controller and software setup of the Mavic Air. It felt very similar to me.
Quick shots.
Yeah, there's Asteroid. There we go. Oh yeah, let's do that. Both Asteroid and Boomerang quickshot modes are currently unique to Mavic Air. Expect to see a lot of Asteroid shots now from this drone on YouTube and Instagram. The Helix is a really interesting example of why the rear-facing sensors on this camera for object avoidance are a really necessary upgrade. Because, you know, all things considered, we feel like we're in a safe position here, but quite sincerely, it could easily have gone into those lights on the sports field at that point then, in that Helix mode. So that's something that the Mavic Air can do, that the Pro, using the same Quickshot, can't do, safely at least. And after playing with the camera settings on the Air, which simply put are comparable to the Pro, and with the light dying, we got ready for some next day testing, leaving the playing field with the obligatory droney finale Quickshot. we're right above Byron Bay to try and test this amazing 32 megapixel pano stitch function, and possibly at 120 frames per second, because the waves are beautiful. There's lots of surfers out and it should be really magical. It's a really secluded cove, perfect for flying the drone so we can fly it safely. You'll see some surfers behind me doing their thing. There's a big swell coming in, so the waves are just building up. But it's a really lovely environment to test the new Mavic Air. We started off playing with both Mavic Air and Pro, chasing each other and generally comparing handling. In a nutshell, I honestly don't think there's a great deal in it, but Nigel and I agreed the Air just edges the Pro in terms of feeling more stable, perhaps more nimble, a slightly more finessed filming platform on what was quite a blustery day. For obvious reasons, I'm intentionally using more of the Air's footage in this review, and you can judge for yourself how this 1080p 30 frames per second uncolour corrected slow move out to sea performs. I think it's absolutely stunning, and from a drone that's lighter and smaller and cheaper than the Pro. What about this 1080p at 120 frames per second that I promised? It's effortless to set up on the controller, and the result is beautiful. The camera on the Air offers 12 megapixel stills, but it's the 32 megapixel sphere panorama mode I was keen to see. There are other choices too, like the 180 degree and vertical modes, as well as spherical. The latter though is the 32 megapixel option, which is made possible by automatically shooting 25 still images and stitching them together, all in under 8 seconds, and generally as the drone returns to you. You can move around the 360 degree image in DJI's app, or of course using DJI's enormous headset. Cool. Personally though, I was most impressed by the 180 degree panorama, made up of 21 stitched together images. This is probably my favourite piece of footage that Nigel and I shot. 1080p, 120 frames per second. Right now you're focused on the surfer, wondering whether or not he's going to catch that wave. You're so focused that you probably don't know there's a large rock behind the Mavic Air that it's flying backwards towards. It turns out that's not a problem, thanks to the Advanced Pilot Awareness System, or APAS. The rear sensors pick it up and smoothly elevate the Air to avoid a collision, whilst maintaining a smooth shot. Please note though, you have to make sure APAS is switched on for this function to work. So there's the warning, you can hear the warning.
It's elevating. All on its own.
We're going to try and illustrate it through the camera of the Mavic Pro. That's awesome, absolutely awesome, dude. Now, while the Air shares a similar flat-out top speed to the Pro, I've read that because of its spark-like gimbal with a limited range of motion, its useful top speed is limited somewhat. For me though, that's just not an issue, because I generally fly slowly in order to get nice, smooth, controlled cinematic shots. And then there's those really fun quickshot modes. Its super compact design, that rear-facing object detection, flexible photographic modes, and of course its affordability. I guess I'm not going to replace my Pro with an Air, but if I was in the market for my first DJI drone and I wasn't looking to spend top-end money, I'd bypass the Spark and the Pro and go straight for the Mavic Air. recording.